Okay, we're going to draw a nose. And this is probably going to be one of the more simple resolutions to drawing a nose. And it's not anyone's nose specifically, but we're going to start the same way we drew our eye. And a lot of what we're going to do is going to be a sketch. So before we draw, we sketch, and we're going to hold our pencil to the side like this. This is going to help all of us, those that are heavy-handed, those that are too impulsive and want to make a dark line too quickly. So I'm going to start towards the bottom half of the paper. And when you feel your nose, the point of your nose is actually round. And so I'm going to start off with a circle. And you can see I'm drawing many circles, not just one circle. And this is because within that, the perfect circle is hiding. So if I draw many circles, one of those circles is going to be great. So overlapping that circle are going to be two smaller circles. These represent the sides of your nose. So this is the center of your nose here. And I'm going to give myself a guide just so I'm somewhat symmetrical. Most of us have a symmetrical nose. And then these two circles that overlap are going to be either side. So at the very bottom is where we're going to have our nostril. And this is where it's a little tricky. So I'm going to start off in the lower portion of that circle and just draw kind of a guide. Again, I'm just using the side of my pencil. I'm not using the point of my pencil. And I do have multiple pieces of paper underneath here. This is, again, to just give it a little bit of cushion, and you can tape that down if you feel it shifting on both the top and the bottom. So I'm still trying to figure out the shape of my nostrils, the shape of the sides of my nose, and then I'm going to use an eraser for the first time when I decide how I'm going to overlap. So when these two meet, there's usually a shadow right there. And then depending on your nostrils, again, this is just a generic nose. This is no one's nose specifically. Your nostrils can just become little triangular shapes. And then I'm following, and you can possibly change that shape. Maybe they're pointy at the top. And so we have a tendency to draw noses with two big black lines on either side, which we're not going to do in this situation. Instead, using the side of our pencil again, if you just lightly shade on either side of our nose, that's going to create the bridge of the nose. Under here, we have a shadow because our nose is pointy, because this is a frontal view of the nose, and it's going to cast a little bit of a shadow here. And underneath our nose, this is the top lip. So I'm going to just use the side of my pencil. Now I can use an eraser. I can go back and erase some of those lines that were my guides and begin more of the drawing. So I can go use the point of my pencil apply some pressure for the first time. Everyone's nostrils are quite dark, and we will have a shadow. You can cross hatch. You can use cross contour lines and kind of define that shape even more. Create even more shadows underneath. play with that until it gets to the point where you are comfortable with your lights and darks. So because we don't have the rest of our face, this is just kind of a strange floating nose, you're probably not going to do too much up here because it depends on the way the light is casting. So again, I'm going to draw up here so you remember the steps. Circle, overlapping circle, line of symmetry, nostrils. Okay, all right, great.